welcome back to my channel, T.O. Blue Jays. I am your host, Aiden Smith, and welcome to what feels like the first day of spring here in Ontario, Canada. I know we're still in the winter, but still feels like spring. So now, at least for this week, it feels like what really spring training is, and not just some far, far getaway while we were watching in the cold over the last few weeks. Anyways, Blue Jays updates. Unfortunately for the Blue Jays, Eric Swanson is injured, so once again, he is going to be late getting into regular season playing, uh, which is not a good sign because last year, obviously, he had the whole incident with his son being hit by a car, and he obviously had to take bereavement leave for that because he needed to be there for his family. And he was pretty awful throughout the year because he just never caught up to the hitters and basically all the other pitchers. So hopefully that doesn't happen this year. I mean, obviously what happened last year is much more dramatizing than just having a generic pitcher injury. But again, it's not good. But what the Blue Jays have done, and I think they also have the depth in their some of their minor league signings, anyways, including Ryan Yarbrough, is that they've actually gone and re-signed Dillon Tate. Dillon Tate had actually elected for free agency back in November, December, I want to believe, roughly around the same time Jordan Romano. So it must have been in November before the Rule 5 draft. And because of that, he was not with the Blue Jays, but obviously no other team has gone out and picked him up. So he is now back on the Blue Jays on a minor league deal. And I think that's great because throughout 36 innings last year, including with the Baltimore Orioles, he pitched to a 4.66 ERA, again, over 36.2 innings. And he had a ERA of 4.66 and a career ERA of 4.09. So that's pretty good. Um, the only thing that's kind of disappointing was the Eric Swanson trade is I can't even remember the prospect that came with him for Teoscar Hernandez. But overall, it's starting to look like maybe Seattle kind of won that trade, at least in a 1 year type of thing. Now, obviously, Teoscar Hernandez and the Seattle Mariners were not able to do anything in the playoffs, which sucks for them, but at least it makes the trade a little bit more beneficial for us. But again, it is still kind of disappointing that Eric Swanson's not lived up to the hype that he had when he got traded to us originally. Now, the other good news for the Blue Jays is that now they've actually increased their runs per game to 7 on average with a 13 win or 13 run win against the Rays, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and then the played again today. And let me check what the score was today. I can't even remember. Today's score was 8-3, and yes, yesterday they won 13-9. So again, now their run average per game is 7 runs, and Bo Bichette is looking pretty good. And Alan Rodin's looking pretty good. So I think there's a chance that he will make it up this year, even possibly before um, the spring trade or before the September call ups, depending on the performance of other guys. Because if he can hit and he can even hit the lefties, I think there's a chance he gets to play in the outfield because well, I mean, Anthony Santander could technically play right field or left field, and same as George Springer. But if you take away those two guys, one of them is most likely going to DH. So that you only have one right-handed hitter really in your major league depth, anyways, in the outfield. So hopefully that means, uh, I mean, Will Wagner's gotten some reps in that first base and in the outfield, and obviously Joey Loperfido um, is looked at higher, at least at this moment, anyways. But I David Schneider, probably not going to last too long, unfortunately. But that's just the way it is for him. I mean, it's been a great story from the 28th round pick, making it all the way to the MLB and absolutely killing the Boston Red Sox in his major league debut. But outside of that, there's been a few highlights, and the rest has kind of just been not so good. So hopefully the Blue Jays can carry this momentum into the regular season because I do realize it's only spring training. And I do realize that these are not the elite pitchers that are going 6, 7 innings that the Blue Jays are getting 7 runs off of. But still, it's good that they are scoring runs nonetheless, and hopefully they can kind of take this momentum and this, we need to win this year because this is going to be the last year that we're all together, most likely. I mean, unless a miracle happens. So I think with a few guys being under contract years, a few guys getting really tired of not going deep in the playoffs will hopefully kind of get the momentum going on these guys, almost like the 2015, 2016 Blue Jays, where they realized their time was limited because the 2015, 2016 Josh Donaldson was, I mean, obviously tremendous. 2015 AL MVP. 2017, obviously, we're still decent. Um, but the 2017 Donaldson, Tulowitzki, and the 2018 Donaldson, Tulowitzki were just absolutely garbage. Um, and I think it was 2019 when we traded Donaldson for practically nothing. And obviously Bautista didn't resign. Edwin Encarnacion left the team. Uh, so yeah, just a lot of unfortunate events since that last great run of Blue Jays baseball. And unfortunately, we never got to the World Series, but we came pretty close. So I kind of have a feeling that this will happen again this year, where a lot of guys have a lot to prove. Other they want to play a lot more with the Blue Jays, or they know that they're most likely going to be on another team next year, so they want to get a big payday from one of the 29 other teams. But that's it for this video. And go Jays go. Hopefully they'll continue this momentum, and hopefully some of the depth that they build up in the bullpen will help them win games, while some of the normal guys like Eric Swanson can recover and build up their momentum as well. And as always, go Jays go. See you guys in the next video.